Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm trying to make a run to come back for a little bit here, so we're gonna start off with something I've been wanting to try for a while, and a lot of you are curious about it too. So if you're interested in seeing how the Hourglass Vanish foundation stick hangs in there with me, stay tuned. To start with, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you. This shout out goes to every single one of you out there that has stuck with me. I know it's been a while since I've posted, and just to give you a real quick, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but just so that you understand, in the coming weeks, my posting is going to be pretty irregular. I don't have a lot of control over that. Basically, what happened is that I went out, all excited for my son's birthday on the Friday the 27th, and on Saturday the 20th, and everything was fine. On Saturday the 28th in the morning, I woke up and oh my God, I was in so much pain. It was unbelievable. Clearly something had happened to a tooth, and I was in absolute agony. By Sunday, my entire face had swollen all the way up into and around my eye. It was really bad, and I ended up having to go into the hospital where basically they said that I have a broken tooth here that had apparently abscessed. Some bacteria got up into where the root of the tooth is, and a huge infection breaks out, and of course there's no way for that infection to get out, so it moves up, and which is really dangerous because if the infection moves behind your eye, you can have real bad problems. So long story short, they put me on heavy duty antibiotics, which have just made me feel absolutely atrocious. In the meanwhile, getting me into an oral surgeon because I have to have this tooth extracted, which is going to be lovely because it's, right in my smile. Well, yeah, it's just great. So I go into the oral surgeon. I mean, this has just been a nightmare. It really has. So I go into the oral surgeon, and they, in the process of looking at everything, find out a couple things. One, my blood pressure apparently is astronomically high, even though I'm on blood pressure medicine. I never had blood pressure problems before in my entire life, never. Until probably, I guess 3 years ago, I had a headache that was unlike anything I ever had before in my life. It put me in the hospital, and turns out it was because of blood pressure crisis, they call it. My blood pressure was so high, the aid car couldn't even get a reading on it. Anyways, long story short, so my doctor put me on blood pressure medicine, and when I went into, I have severe anxiety with dental stuff because I've just had some really bad experiences like a lot of you have. And so I knew I was stressed out. But to see my blood pressure that high, I mean, it was high. So they're like, even if we want to do this, we can't because your blood pressure's too high. Our anesthesiologist just won't do it. So you need to get into your doctor and get this under control. And then on top of it, it turns out that the blood pressure medicine I'm on causes, I always wonder why my mouth was dry. And it's because the blood pressure medicine I'm on causes saliva production to cut down. That saliva production cutting down basically makes it, your saliva apparently helps to keep the bacteria moving, if you will, in your mouth. Keeps things moisturized, your gums healthy and pink. And when you don't have that moisture in your mouth, your teeth can decay really fast. And so I found out that I have several teeth that are having this dry mouth decay, a couple of which might need to be extracted. So it's just, you guys, it's just been a nightmare. So now I have to, this is what's coming in my coming weeks. I've already got my appointment on Friday with my doctor to start working on my blood pressure issue. I have to get into a regular dentist who can start monitoring and working with me really closely on seeing, first off, if some of these teeth that have this, so anyways, long story short, I have to get into the regular dentist, have him see if some of these teeth that have this dry mouth decay can be saved. And if not, then, the oral surgeon basically wants to find out what can be saved, what can't, and do, any extractions that have to be done all at once. I mean, it's been a nightmare. You know, it's not, as if it's not enough to have an extraction that has to happen, to find out I might have a couple teeth that have to be extracted, that I'm now going to have a chronic problem with this because of blood pressure medicine and the fact that my blood pressure is out of control all at the same time. It's like, yeah, I don't need any more heaped on me right now. I really don't. Anyway, so I just want to let you guys know that, you know, I really appreciate that you've stuck with me. I will try, and, you know, even if I don't have a chance to actually record and then edit it, if this phone rings one more time. Okay, sorry about this. I'm telling you guys, it's just one of these times right now where everything is just, my daughter's sick, and it's just, we just found out she has some intestinal bacteria brie that's made, she's been really sick, and we haven't been able to figure out what's going on, and they finally, not to be too in-depth here, but that's what the call was I just received, is they finally tested her poopies and found out she has a pretty significant bacterial infection in her lower intestine. So, I mean, it's just, I will do everything I can to keep content coming as regular as possible on our channel. There may be times where, you know, I go several days without posting. There may be times where I just don't have time to, because, you know, when I record like this, I not only have to have the time to record and do all the setup and breakdown, but then I have to have time to edit. So there may be times where I just don't have time to do all that, and I just pop on a live stream just to connect with you guys, and I might show you some products that way. Because, like, for instance, I have a whole slug of stuff to show you guys, and, you know, I want to show it to you, but I don't, you know, it's getting the time to do it with everything going on. I have my Sephora VIB sale haul I want to show you, Laura Lee palette that I just ordered that I'm anxious to show you. I have both Patrick Star and Matte Cosmetics collections, a huge order from Pat McGrath. Can't wait to show you that one. The new collection that I ordered, the Hummingbird collection from Wet n Wild. I have the new collection that I ordered from Physicians Formula. So I have a lot of products I want to show you, and I want to get them out here hopefully in a timely manner. You know, it doesn't do you any good to show you something that's, you know, 8 months old. So if I don't have time to, you know, do the actual sit down, record, edit thing, just know that if I do a live video, you know, I normally don't show products on live video in that way, you know, like do first impressions and stuff. But occasionally I might have to do that just to be able to get it out to you guys. So the videos will probably be longer because obviously I can't edit a live stream video, but you know what? Fast forward through if I'm blabbing too much and you don't want to see it just like now, just fast forward through it. But hopefully, you know, my goal is to not only get me better, obviously, but to get my daughter better so that, you know, we kind of get things more on an even keel and I can get back to recording normally. So, please just bear with me, you guys, because, you know, I'd hate to lose any of you. Not only have we worked really hard just to get to this point on our channel, but I would miss you guys, you know. I mean, every person that leaves, I feel it. It's like a little piece is taken, you know, when you guys leave, you take a little piece of me with you. So, you know, I'd hate to lose people for something that's completely out of my control. But, you know, when it comes to health, you got to take care of your health above and beyond everything else, or you're not going to be recording anything. Okay, so let's get started on this. Please excuse the hair and everything. I don't normally go up with little duo space buns and looking all funky and raggedy like this, but you know what? I feel raggedy right now, so what can I say? I'm reflecting the way I feel. Okay, so Vanish Seamless Finish Foundation Stick. This one and when I put the voting up, this one and what is the other one? Hang on here. The Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation were the two most popular voted upon. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be trying all of them. And I decided I'm going to wait on the Physicians Formula anyways because I have a slug of products coming from them and I'd like to record or, you know, live stream a whole video on all their products. And I have some treats coming for you guys for that too. So keep an eye out for that. Anyways, so I just said, let's go with this one today. Now, what it says here, I do have the color Alabaster. Hopefully this is If my phone rings one more time, I'll be right back, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna keep trying this until... Please excuse me, you guys. I'm gonna edit out all these interruptions, but Jesus, just one after the other. Okay, the color I picked up again is Alabaster. They, you know, unfortunately, our Sephora... I love shopping in store, but you know what? Our Sephora is so horrible. The stock, I don't know who orders stock in there, how they even can stay in business, to be honest with you, because every time I go in there, if they have a product, they've only got a few of them. And like, for instance, this, not in my shade. You know, this this says it's for fair, cool undertone. But I didn't see any. They had one porcelain fair with neutral undertone, which I am, but of course, Sephora didn't have it. Okay, so this foundation, you get 7 grams. Remember, this is a stick foundation, which is 0.25 ounces, so you're not getting a whole lot of product here. And it retails for $46. Looking at, it has 4,037 reviews as of this moment on Sephora and is rated 4-star, which is really good. It claims it's full coverage for sensitive, normal, dry, combination, oily skin, so everything, and that it has a natural finish. It says, a long-wearing foundation stick with the coverage of a concealer, fluidity of a liquid, and weightlessness of a powder for invisible full coverage. A foundation and concealer in one, this foundation's concentrated formula is infused with double the amount of pigmentation versus traditional foundations for an instant full coverage in one application. The long-wearing waterproof, well, that'll be interesting to see, formula provides 12-hour coverage, and the innovative formula adjusts to your body temperature to effortlessly blend into the skin. Encased in a unique triangular bullet for precise application along the contours of the face, it can be used to contour and highlight. It features an array of shades and is designed specifically to be used with the Vanish foundation brush for the most seamless finish. I do not have the foundation brush because, like everything else on Sephora, it was sold out. But you know what? The brush is $46, which is the same cost as the foundation. So it looks like they have 32 shades there from what I can see on Sephora. Looks like there's a, you know, it's hard to tell from the little square dots. There's a heck of a lot of fair and medium, not a whole lot dark, but that's pretty typical, sadly. Let's see here. Hopefully that will start changing. I'm looking for how to apply, and it doesn't say on site, and let's see what the box says. Okay, so it says here, directions. Formula is highly concentrated, only a small amount is needed. Lightly dot foundation on the forehead, cheeks, and chin, and blend in with a brush for the most seamless finish. And use their brush, blah, blah, blah. Okay, another thing, too, I wanted to try. Cute. You know me, I like to try, you know, always got to try some primers that say to go with these things. I got this as a point perk. This is the Veil Mineral Primer, right? Yeah, this is Hourglass, of course, Veil Mineral Primer. Obviously, this is just an itty bitty, but the 1 ounce size, which is the full size, sells for $54. They also have a mini size, which is 0.31 ounces for $19. And then they have a value size for those of you out there who really love it, which is 2 ounces and is $75. This says an oil-free primer with a silky, airy texture that leaves a smooth canvas for makeup while reducing the look of redness, pores, and wrinkles. What it does, with a texture unlike any other, the silky primer extends the wear of makeup while also concealing redness, minimizing the appearance of pores, fine lines, and wrinkles, and providing broad spectrum SPF 15 for a perfect complexion that lasts. It leaves a smooth, even surface so that foundation effortlessly glides on and stays put for all-day makeup wear. This unique primer has an airy, silky, cloud-like texture and layers onto skin without added weight or a greasy afterfeel. Okay. So, oh, and by the way, Hourglass products are 100% cruelty-free. As I've said, not only am I on the mission to find the perfect foundation for mature skin, but also primer. And I'd like to find some now that, you know how I feel about the By Terry, and if you don't, take a look at that video. But I'm looking for ones in the, now that we have at least one in the luxury category, I'd like to find one in the high-end and in the drugstore. That's my goal, so that no matter what budget you're on, you can find the one that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the Veil Mineral Primer to only half of my face. And that way we can see, if it looks better with or without. And then with the foundation stick, we will try it first with the Beauty Sponge. This is just the Beauty Blender Pro, which is my favorite one. And I'm also going to try blending it out with a foundation brush. This is the Morphe E6, which has been my favorite of late. So let's see here. Oh, interesting. How nice it comes. Huh. Okay. It, sorry, it kind of threw me off there. Because it has a, I would describe this scent as sour. When I first put it to my nose, it kind of reminded me of sour cream a little bit. Okay, first though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just do my prep, which I should have done already. Okay, so the prep I'm going to do, I already have my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream down all over my face, and the Magic Eye Rescue. You guys know I love those. On my face prior to those, I put down Tatcha's The Essence, which I'm still continuing with the Tatcha products. I'll have a big review coming on that soon. And Tatcha's Radiant, which is their Deep Brightening Serum. And prior to that, I used Tatcha's Polished, which is their scrub, and their, I believe it's called Violet Sea mask, which I love so far. Oh my god. So, but now for makeup prep, what we're going to do is, as always, I'm going to use my Pure Hydrogel Lift under my eyes. I love this stuff. I'm almost out of it. So I'm hoping, I ordered, Physicians Formula came out with one and I ordered it. So I'm going to kind of compare it to this one and see, because I love this and this is almost gone. And then I'm going to continue with the Becca Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer, because I really like this. And then I'm going to use the Giorgio Armani High Precision Retouch just under here to get rid of a little bit of the, I like to do this before foundation since I'm color correcting. And then I'm going to do a little lippy scrub with Pure's Exfo Lips. And as soon as I'm done with all that and we're ready to go to foundation, I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have all that done, I sure love that. The Giorgio Armani Retouch, I really like how it just, I have not, if you guys have a color corrector that you think works good that doesn't dry out and make the under eye look all nasty, please let me know, because I'll try it. But so far the Giorgio Armani one that I love about it is it doesn't make my under eyes look, because I have dry under eyes. So let's try this out. I don't know how much to use because it doesn't say on this little thing, so let's just take a guess, shall we? I can tell you one thing, it feels really, just using this little applicator to get it to my face, I think I applied way too much, but it feels smooth. Oh wow. Oh, what? Seriously, you guys? How is foundation even going to stick to this? Oh, I applied way too much. So I'm going to just kind of spread this out and then wipe my hands off. Because, yeah, this, I would say you need about 1/4 to 1/8 of what I applied. So I don't want to over apply and then have it. So I'm just going to whoopsies. What happens when you use a new product you've never used before, Wow, though, this, the best way I can describe how this feels is it feels like silk. I should have just used the rest of it down my neck. I feel like I just spread silk on my face. Oh, that is really something. Wow. Well, now I guess I know why they call it a veil, because that's what it feels like. It feels like you've put a silk veil over your skin. That is really something. Okay, so we're doing this on the right side of my face, so we'll see if it makes a difference in the application. Oh, it feels silky, but it feels slick as well. So I just want to give it the best chance, the best opportunity to work. So I'm just going to kind of let it sit on my skin for a minute and then we'll move forward. If you have a chance, I would recommend, if you haven't tried this, at least go in and get a sample from Sephora or anywhere that carries Hourglass. And try this out, or if you see the little point perk, grab it, because it's really a unique feel, because when you first put it on your skin it feels wet but it feels dry, if that makes any sense at all. That's the, you know, it feels really wet in how it's moving across the face and the fluidity of how it moves across the face, but it has a like a drier, silky, powdery type texture to it. It's really unique. Okay, so let's move on to the foundation stick that attracts fingerprints like there's no tomorrow. All I did was take it out of the box and it was covered in fingerprints, literally. Try and hold it. So there she is. Very sleek looking. Oh, and it is in the triangular shape. And like they say to, oh boy. Okay, well let's try it. They say just do some dots. Oh wow, it's just like, it's like sliding over this. So we'll start off small before we go big. I'm going to start off with a sponge on this side. So let's see how this blends out. Well, I can tell you this much right now. I don't know if you guys can see it, but these little dots that I've put everywhere they're not blending out as easily as I would have thought. I mean, it definitely, you know, it eventually blends out, but I mean, I really had to, you know, I really had to give it some oomph to get it to start blending. Well, there you go. There's one side. I wouldn't, you know, you guys saw how much I put on. I would say more that this amount of coverage is light medium right now, because I can still see redness. I can still see my freckles. They're more just kind of evened out my skin tone. So let's go ahead on the other side first before I try building it. I want to try with a brush and see if that makes a difference. And again, this side has no primer on it. This is just my makeup base and then the foundation. I'll tell you one thing right off the bat. I don't know if it's the fact that this side has the primer on it, or if it's the fact that I used the brush. Oops, but let's try and get you up close and hopefully you'll be able to see this. Let me turn the light down a little. This side here, it looks smooth. It looks like it's blended with the skin, or with my skin, not the skin, my skin. But when you look at this side here, let me get my mirror up here. Like, I can see where it's literally like sitting on my skin and it's like dotted into each pore. Yeah, and the wrinkles, yeah, I do not like the way this looks at all right now. I'm going to try real quick going over it with the brush, or with the sponge. Oh, and let's see if that makes a difference, because I'm not liking the way it looks right now. Not even a little bit. Okay, I think it's both, to be honest with you. First off, I definitely do not like this foundation applied with a brush. This is much prettier applied with a sponge. But I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys can see a difference between the sides, but I can. And, you know, when I went over it again with the sponge, you know, it pressed it into the skin much better, because it was just kind of laying on my skin before. But when I look at it up close, my skin on this side just looks smooth. I mean, it looks smooth. Look at that right there. I hope you guys can see that. And turn the lighting way down so you can see all my imperfections. Okay, on this side though, what I want you to pay attention to is even where the pores are here and going up to where, you know, my wrinkles are here off my eye. Look how smooth this cheek looks here. And then when we go over to this side, you can see my pores a lot more. You can see the texture of my skin. I don't have a lot of texture, but I have those lovely scars from chicken pox and stuff. And then the wrinkle coming off this side and this side are like night and day. This skin looks plumped. It looks younger. It looks softer. This looks more aged to me. Can you guys see that? I mean, I'm looking, even in the viewfinder, I can see the difference. That is all primer, because the only difference between the two sides, now that I've used the sponge on the entire side, you know, over my entire face, the only difference between the two sides are the primer. That's it. Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to try building it up here on my cheek, where that even when you put it down, even when you wind it down, you have to be careful, because man, and I'll tell you, if you make a mistake and you get it on the, you know, you nab it on the side here and you put it in here without realizing it, then every time you pull it out, it just, oh, it's just a mess now. Oh well. Okay, so let's try and see how this builds. I don't know, you guys, I really, you know, I've heard so many wonderful things about this foundation. Oh my god, I did it again! Ah! What was happening is I was putting it in here like this, and without knowing it, once you put it in here, it still turns. Once you know, even though you've got it in here, you can still turn it. So I was putting it in there and then turning it without realizing it, and that's how it was mashing up. Oh! Okay, let's try building up this side. Just over my cheek. You know, I don't know. What do you guys think? That's, you know, I just built it up on my cheeks. I still can see my skin color and discoloration through now, even with 2 layers on. And I really don't want to put any more, because I'm starting to actually see the product on my skin now. I definitely would not call this a full coverage, at least for mature skin. This might be a full coverage for those of you that have younger skin, because, you know, your skin can tolerate a lot more product being built on top of it than mine can. You know, someone my age, we start building layers and layers of product on our skin, and it just instantly looks cakey and nasty. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and just finish up, you know, putting concealer on and get that all ready, and I'll be back in a minute with my thoughts and where we go from here. I'm at it. I figure I might as well use a few other Hourglass products I have that I have not used in videos or used at all for that matter. Yeah, see, I can still totally see my skin color. I mean, it doesn't even look like there's any foundation on there. Look at that, right there. And I put 2 layers, and that whole section doesn't look like there's any foundation. Maybe it just doesn't want to stick to the Charlotte Tilbury, because over here it definitely adhered better. This is the ambient lighting edit, or ambient powder, whatever. It's not available anymore. I've never even used it. It's a beautiful palette. I think they have a new one now, though, that's, God, their powders are just, oh wow, that's got way too much shine. And then I also have, this is ethereal, oh, I guess they're all ambient lighting powders. This is ethereal light. God, their powders just feel, and this one definitely has a glow to it. So I'm gonna just try very, you know, just try very light as a kind of a finishing powder and see see what she does. I might be glowing all over when I'm done. It just gives a nice healthy glow. It's nothing, you know, overbearing. Now I think this bronzer is gonna be, yeah, I mean, that, look at that. It's not only way too dark, it's like straight up orange. So I am actually going to use my new favorite, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, their powdered bronzer, excuse me, in Rosewood, I believe. Yeah, Rosewood. Love this bronzer, you guys. Absolutely love it. If you have fair skin, I'm just gonna lay it a little down. Oh, I meant to lay a little down. What happened? Oh, I'll tell you. When it's been a while since you've been in front of the camera and, you know, been doing your makeup and stuff, it's like, oh my lord, what have I forgotten? Apparently, quite a bit looking at what I'm doing right now. Okay, let's blend this out. But the nice thing about this bronzer is that it does blend out beautifully. I mean, look at that. You saw how harsh that line was before. Look at that. It just blends right into the skin. Just a little movement, little pressure on the brush, and she blends right in. It's not patchy. Now look at this side. I mean, you can see I just got a straight up line there. Back to this Hourglass palette and see if I can, this blush that's in here looks nice. It's that right there. I'm just going to take this Morphe R3 and let's try and see. Oh, it's pigmented. It has a nice glow to it, like I've come to associate with most Hourglass products. Little on the schnozzy. This is our Real Techniques blush brush and just kind of combine them. Looks like a lot of blush right now, which it is, but I put a little extra on because whenever I put my finishing powder on, it always seems to tamp it down. Okay, now I'm going to just get my eyebrows done and I'll be right back. As always, after my eye makeup is done, I'll come back for a quick check-in. This time, depending on the amount of time it is, we might not do that, but right now, after I set it, and I set it with my, this is my all-time favorite powder I've ever found in terms of just an all-over finishing powder, and this is the Airbrush Flawless Finish by Charlotte Tilbury. This is my second one, and I've already hit pan on this one. I'm telling you guys, there are not very many products in this world that I hit pan on, that I use enough to hit pan on. This is the second one I've hit pan on, and I want to cry. I have this in the shade 1 Fair. I do wish she'd come out with a shade that's a little bit lighter, because this one does add, like, I wouldn't use it under my eyes and stuff like that, because it is just a little bit too much colored for my skin tone, but it's such a beautiful powder. If you're looking, I mean, like, you can look at my forehead and my cheeks, even on the side where I didn't use the primer, and how the smoothing effect this powder has. You guys, it's beautiful. It blends. And you notice how toned down my blush is now. I said I put it on heavier because after I do my finishing powder and really buff it in, it'll tone it down. And look at how blended and beautiful other products look on, you know, it's just, I love it. So this powder is worth every dime I spend on it. I will continue to purchase this powder, and I will always recommend this powder because it truly is beautiful, you guys. It really is. She just came out with 2 new palettes, new Legendary Lashes 2 mascara, and 2 new cream eyeshadows. I'd really like to get those. So anyways, I will be back a little later with a check-in and we'll go from there. Love you. Okay, hello everyone. I am back for a check-in and I'm looking pretty ragged here. So here's what I'm going to do. First off, I just want to take a quick look. I literally just got in the door a few minutes ago. You can see I still have no eye makeup on or anything. I just today didn't have time to do a second review like I usually do with an eyeshadow palette right afterwards. I just had to split out the door. So what I'm going to do is this. You know, I've heard such incredible reviews about this foundation that I just can't let this go at one like this, because you guys saw what it looked like after I applied it. And I've just been running errands. Literally, I've had this on now for about 6.5 hours. It is completely worn off of my chin. I mean, I have literally no foundation on my chin at all. It's completely worn off of my nose and my upper lip. It's worn off the bottoms here. And I mean, I'm not, you know, rubbing my chin or anything, haven't been eating or anything. It's worn off my forehead here. The only place that I still have foundation, interestingly enough, is under where I put like all my blush and bronzer. There's a tiny bit up here on the bridge of my nose, but even the sides of my nose, it's worn off. I mean, it's just worn off everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this a little bit, and I just wanted to check back in with you guys to show you that, you know, how this wore the first time. But tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to try another application, and I'll record that, and I'm going to try applying rather than, you know, applying a little bit and building it up. I'm going to try applying it a little thicker the first time because, you know, they say apply dots like I did, but I checked out some videos on it, and every single person I see using this foundation's like drawing streaks down their face and all across their forehead. I mean, they're putting a lot more on than Hourglass recommends, and they're getting beautiful results with it. So I want to try that tomorrow. So just wanted to check in with you guys, let you kind of see, you know, the conditions here. And again, I have no other makeup on, so bear with me, guys. But I think you'll be able to see. I mean, literally, I have no foundation on my chin, my upper lip, my nose, the sides of my nose, and the bottom of my jawline here, and my forehead, top of my forehead right here, above my brow bone. It's just all gone. I have no idea where it went. I haven't been sweating today. I haven't been wiping my face. I haven't been doing anything except for running errands after I left with you guys the last time. So I'll be back tomorrow and we'll try this again. Love you. Okay, so let's go with the sour cream. Correct that. Okay, so let's move on to the foundation stick that attracts fingerprints like there's no tomorrow. All I did was take it out of the box and it was covered in fingerprints, literally. So if you don't like things dirty, you're gonna have fun with this one. I mean, it definitely, you know, it eventually blends out, but I mean, I really had to, you know,